Thanks, Sheriff. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everybody being in attendance tonight. We're going to do the invocation and pledge out of District 11.
Okay, let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this opportunity, Lord, to be here tonight. Thank you for this governing body. I pray wisdom, instruction, Lord. I pray, God, that you bless each one that's in attendance here today. Continue to bless Putnam County, Lord, as being a beacon in this state. Thank you for those blessings in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thanks again for being here. Welcome to the Putnam County Commission meeting. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll take your handsets and everybody press yes, and it will stop you right there. Everybody pressing yes for me, please. Okay. Where'd Commissioner Blonder go?
He's not here tonight. He's stuck in Florida.
Oh, that's right. He was absent a while ago, wasn't he? I should have known better now. It's been a long day. All right. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 present, 1 absent. There is a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Item number 5, approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any discussion or changes to the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have an approved agenda. Item number 6, approval of the minutes of previous meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any changes, discussion on the minutes of the previous meeting? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes have been approved. Number 7, unfinished business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fiscal Review Committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Nominating Committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. B, report of special committees.
Not that we're aware of, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Other unfinished business. Okay, moving on to number 8, quarterly reports and action thereon by the board. Road Fund, Randy Jones, Road Supervisor. School Funds, Corby King, Director of Schools. County General Fund, Debt Service Fund, Solid Waste Sanitation Fund, Parks and Recreation Fund, and the Self-Insurance Fund, Randy Porter, County Mayor. We can make a motion to approve all of these. Have a motion second. Any discussion on the quarterly reports? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. Number 9, new business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Planning Committee recommends approval of the following equipment to be sold via internet public auction for the Highway Department as follows, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Item B, Planning Committee recommends approval of the changes to the county powers regulations, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Bennett.
Do we currently have this in place and a board that's overseeing complaints?
The provision is currently in place, but we've never used it. And the reason we've never used it is because we don't want to spend county money or use our people to go clean up Ron Chaffin's property. I know he's got the cleanest property in Putnam County. But,
All right.
but I'm just saying, we've never used this provision before. All we're doing with this is trying to bring it in line with the statute as it is right now. That's all.
Are we planning on starting to
No.
enforce cleanup on farms? And again, I'd just like to know how far we're going with this.
We've already got the county powers in place. It's been in place for several years, and
We cleaned up, we haven't cleaned them up, but the people have cleaned them up. We've got a real high success rate.
We
Cleaned them
do,
up.
there's no question we have a few problem properties that we have to chip away at.
Right.
But our goal has always been to force the property owner to clean up, deteriorated or unsightly property, as opposed to the county spending money to go do it ourselves. We really don't want to be in that business, quite frankly. But we have had a high success rate. We take them to court, that's what we do.
Okay, I just don't want this to become something we're going out and looking for trouble and making people clean up.
By the nature of the very set of regulations, that's not what happens.
Okay,
Yeah, and we don't have the manpower to do it that way anyway.
okay, just making sure.
Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Item C, Planning Committee recommends approval of the changes to the Highway Department's asset policy, and I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes planning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 2, Fiscal Review Committee.
Thank you. First up, item A, recommends approval of budget amendments to the county general fund, and I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have quite a bit of voting. Take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone vote, and it will automatically stop you right there. Mr. Gentry, here we go. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Excellent. Okay. Esther. Hold on. Didn't print the vote. It's on. And roll call. I did. No, you hit next, and then it automatically makes it do that. You want to revote it again? All right, ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties. Let's try it one more time. Take your handsets. We're on the same motion. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Thank you for your patience. All right. All votes are in. And here we go. If you're there, then you hit next. All right, now that man was supposed to bring it. Maybe they listed or something a while ago. All right, Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent when the roll was called. Excuse me, Madam Chairman, not Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair. Motion carries. Next item.
Thank you. Recommends approval of budget amendments to the solid waste fund, and I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Excellent. Good, that's the way it's supposed to. All right, Madam Chairman, we have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Roll is called. I declare that motion to have passed. Next item. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Recommends approval of budget amendments to the American Rescue Plan Fund, and I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this motion? All right, Mr. Clerk, whenever
All
you're
right.
ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Mr. Sandlin? All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Excellent. Madam Chair, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent with a roll call. I declare that motion to have passed. Next item.
Thank you. Item D, recommends approval of budget amendments to the debt service fund, and I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, seeing none, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Madam Chair, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent, rolls call. I declare that motion to have passed. Thank you, ma'am. Next item.
Thank you. Item E, recommend approval of budget amendments to the capital projects fund, and I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk.
All right, seeing none, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Madam Chair, we have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. When the roll is called, I declare that motion to have passed. Next item, please.
Thank you. Item F, recommends approval of budget amendments to the road department fund, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, seeing none, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Madam Chair, you have, again, 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent with a roll call. I declare that motion to have passed. Next item.
Thank you. Item G, recommends approval of budget amendments to the general purpose school fund, and I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, seeing none, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Madam Clerk, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent with a roll is called. I declare that motion to have passed. Next item,
Thank
please.
you. Item H, recommends approval of budget amendments to the school nutrition fund, and I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, seeing none, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Doing great. Thank you so much. Madam Chair, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent with a roll is called. I declare that motion to have passed. Next item, please, ma'am.
Thank you. Item I, recommends approval of agreement with Twin Lakes on broadband expansion grant, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and second, any
Well.
discussion?
Mercy.
We've already approved to spend this money, so I don't have to do a roll call, do I? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Item J, recommends approval for the Putnam County Emergency Services to write off uncollectible debt in the amount of $647,438.59, and I so move.
Have a-
That didn't come through committee as a recommended thing.
This is true.
It was voted to move to the general.
Yes.
It didn't, but to discuss it, we have to have a motion in a second, so are you making a motion, Madam Chairman?
Yes.
Okay, you have a motion, do I have a second to discuss? Mr. Eldridge, okay, thank you. So, now we can, do I have any discussion? Okay, Commissioner Donadio?
Thank you. Tommy, if you wouldn't mind, please. Just because there's some individuals, we've talked about this in the past, how the write-off works, and that is a large number. Can you explain how that works as far as the write-off and why we have to write that off for the individuals who haven't heard that explanation before? Because that is a big number.
It is a pretty big number, but it's a pretty consistent number. We usually give them about the same amount of money that we have to write off annually. And it's more or less, we're providing a service and hoping somebody pays us afterwards for that service. In some cases, they don't. They may be homeless, have no insurance, have so much medical debt that they can't pay, for the ambulance portion of the bill. Usually, the ambulance bill is fairly small if they've had a serious medical condition, but some choose not to pay it for whatever reason. An audit some years ago, back when Mayor Porter was in my position, asked us to start doing an annual write-off of the bad debt, I guess, just to kind of clear the books, and that's something we've continued to do. This year, percentage-wise, we're a little bit down from, we billed about $9 million, we're writing off about $600,000. And this debt comes over the course of the last several years, couple of 3 years, mainly. So when it gets to a certain age, then we write it off the books, but it continues to remain with the debt collectors for, I think it's 10 years that they keep it on the books and trying to collect it. So this debt is not gone. It's still remaining with the debt collectors, and if they can get it, then we get reimbursed for that.
Thank you, appreciate that,
sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Donadio. Commissioner Facinto?
This might be more of an accounting question that you might be familiar with, but do we set up an annual cancellation reserve? Where is this money being charged against? Is there normally in the course of accounting, if you would set up a reserve annually to offset expected charges and cancellations?
Not in government accounting. This is required by audit. We've been doing this for 20, 30 years.
So where does it get written off?
It's written off of the ambulance services books that they keep on people that have been transported. Every year, they ask that this be wrote off, and it's required by audit.
Benny, it effectively goes to a bad debt expense.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
it's
not in-
It's not estimated on an annual basis
No.
to be, I wish I could do that, Mike.
Well, when you start looking at medical write-off, if you look at what other ambulance services write off and what the hospital writes off and everything, this is pretty small compared to some of theirs. You see a lot of them are in the millions. And I'll have to say,
That answers my question, and I know we get clean audits, so I knew that it wasn't an issue. I was just curious from an accounting standpoint how it transposed.
we used to keep it on our books forever. And, it continued to grow and grow and grow, and finally audit said you can't do this anymore. So for the last 20, 25 years anyway, we've been doing it this way according to.
Thank you, Commissioner Facinto. Commissioner Wilson?
Yes, that's about a 6.5%. Does that sound about right? 7.2. 7.2, okay. So of that 7.2, what do you think will be able to be returned through collections? Of that I'm not gonna hold- 647,000? Very little, I would say less than 1%. I mean, by the time it gets to the point that it's going to collections, this is older debt, they've already had multiple opportunities to pay it.
If there isn't insurance, we bill the insurance, et cetera, et cetera. I'd say it's gonna be a very small number. I think overall, looking at our collection agency, everything we send them, the fresh data, if you will, the stuff that's current just happened, we're looking at maybe a 10% return by the time it gets to them, that we might collect 10% or less.
And this
And that's pretty
write-off-
consistent with the collection agency, so.
Okay, and this write-off is from the last 12 months?
No, sir. No, sir. This represents probably 2 or 3 years, and you're gonna have some outliers that may go back longer than that, just depending on how the account was. You know, maybe a car accident that it took 3 or 4 years to get something done, now they're writing it off. Some of these are people that have died, and those would be very current. But yeah, it's not necessarily a 12-month period that we're writing off.
Okay, last question. So, of the numbers that you've given us this year, were the numbers last year part of that write-off number, or was it from the previous 2 or 3 years?
Well, we
Because
have
you're
to,
keeping it on the books for a couple of years, I assume?
right, we have to look at it individually, so accounts get written off at a different time, and I'm hoping I'm answering your question. It's not necessarily 12 months and they automatically go to write-off. We have to look at each account individually. Maybe somebody's been making $25, $50 a month payments and they quit, and then after a certain period of time, it would roll to a bad debt. Or maybe they've not paid anything
Okay.
that's 2 years old. It just depends on the account
Okay.
kind of thing. You know, it's not a one-and-done solution.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. Commissioner Dunn?
Commissioner Wilson answered my question. I was wondering what time period this was for. Was it for the fiscal year ending '22, or?
No, it's not a, like I say, a one-and-done kind of thing. You know, you've got some accounts in there maybe in '22 that the person's died, and, you know, it's just, there's nothing to collect there. There's no probate, nothing to go after. Some of these accounts may be 18, 19, 20, 21 accounts. It's not a hard cutoff that we automatically roll to bad debt at a certain time period.
So is there a clerk in your office that contacts these, before they get turned over to collections?
The process that we've got more or less is we've got 2 folks that do billing in-house. And we've got one that more or less pre-bills, one that post-bills. And then we've got a third-party biller that the person in our office actually looks at all the claims, make sure they're clean, make sure they're good to go to the billing company. They bill them, they try to bill any insurance we've got, and we've got access to like hospital and previous transports and stuff like that. So if they got insurance, we'll apply that, bill that, wait to hear back from them. They send us a EOB, more or less, that tells about the benefit. If that pays and leaves some portion or doesn't pay, then at that point, we start billing the patient. We bill them 3 times at least, you know, to collect the debt. If that doesn't work, then we roll them to a collection agency. And it's only after that point that we really get into the writing them off to the bad debt. So it's a fairly minor number compared to the total number of calls we bill, the total amount of money that we collect.
And you said annually this last year was $9 million?
That we billed, yes. We billed $9 million, and we're writing off $647,000.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Dunn. Commissioner Chapin?
Just one question. Are these mainly emergency calls, or are they doctor visit calls, or?
I couldn't necessarily answer that as to what each one of them represent. There's several thousand calls that are represented here, and I don't know if there's a particular demographic in that. Like a lot of the non-emergency calls, we're taking somebody to the doctor's office, or whatever. A lot of those are pre-approved before we take them, and all that. So I can't really necessarily say 100%, you know, which demographic they fall in. I know that we've got a variety of folks that have died, homeless people that we can't bill because we can't find them. You know, different stuff, and that may increase as the years go on, so. You're welcome.
All right. Chief, looks like that percentage is the lowest one in the last 8 years, so that's a blessing to recognize. All right, Ms. Clerk, whenever you're ready, please call the roll.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Madam Chair, of 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent, and the roll is called. Declare that motion to pass.
Thank you. Item K, recommends approval for the Solid Waste Department to write off uncollectible debt in the amount of $293.60, and I so move.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk, whenever you're
All right,
ready.
seeing none, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere?
I got out of mail twice. Okay, wait a minute.
Madam Chair, of 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent, with the roll is called. I declare that motion to pass. Next item, please.
Okay. Thank you. Item L, recommends approval. L, H-I-J-K-L.
There's two Ks, there's two Ls, so we'll go with the first L.
That's why I was fixing it before we get there, so the first L.
First.
Recommends approval for the Sheriff's Office to apply for the SRO program grant in the amount of $1,425,000 with no match, and I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We can do, Mr. Cassidy.
Just very quickly, I know through the budget process, we've talked about funds that the state's approved for SROs. Is this that grant? But we still have to apply and, yeah, good deal.
Any more discussion? All right, we can do a voice vote here. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Former item K, which should be item M, recommends the approval for the Sheriff's Office to apply for the Mental Health Transport Grant in the amount of $100,000 with no match, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Donio.
This actually isn't on this. We have to have a motion to suspend the rules so that we can fix the agenda for the typo that's on there.
No.
Jeff, Mr. Jones, do we? Move on. I appreciate you recognizing that, but
Okay.
as chairman, I think I can go ahead and
Okay.
just.
It's just a typo.
No, yeah, it's a typo. Recognize it. Thank you, though.
Chelsea and I can fix that.
I appreciate you paying attention. I do. Thank you. All right. Any discussion? Voice vote again. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. New item N, recommends approval of the consideration of GASB 34 amendments, as well as any cleanup amendments in order to properly close out the fiscal year that were hand-delivered Monday night, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the Gatsby amendments? Okay, Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready, please
All
call the
right.
roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Excellent. Madam Chair, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. The roll is called. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you, and that concludes fiscal review.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good job. That's a lot. Moving on to nominating committee.
We have one item, recommends approval of Library of Board of Trustees nominees Cindy Putnam and Harry Engel to a Libraries Board, a 3-year term expiring June 2026. I so move.
Have a motion second. Any discussion on those recommendations? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right. Report of special committees. Resolutions.
No resolution, Mr. Chairman.
Election of notaries.
All right, got quite a list. Here we go. Don Renee Agee, Julie L. Ashburn, Miriam J. Bailey, James Blair, David M. Brown, Amy Carr, Alina D. Deason, Marie C. Ferran, Holly Gleaves, Scarlett Jackson, Brandy Jolly, Cheryl Klein, Donna Colonel, Amy Key, Carrie Kincaid, Kenneth Kincaid, Larry S. Littrell, Laura Lee Looney, Kim Lyles, Anthony C. Maxwell, Pamela C. Prius, Linda G. Shannon, Beth Shipley, Chastity L. Smith, Pam Smitherier, Tamara Tribble, Dwayne Underwood, Anna Walker, Ashley Waters, Tony Weaver, Kenneth Wells, and lastly, Brianna Wilson.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second on notaries. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk, we'll take a roll call vote on this one.
It does. We have to roll call this one because we're getting somebody into a quote-unquote office. So if you'll just take your handsets and press yes for me, that will be wonderful. We'll take a tally from there. It's just formality, basically. All right. Mr. Chairman, you have all 23 voting yes, 1 absent, 0 no. Motion carries.
All right. Other new business, we want to ratify the appointment of Brandon Smith as EMA Director. Mayor?
Well, unfortunately, I'm here tonight on 2 occasions. One of them is Mr. Tyler Smith, who has been our Emergency Management Director for many years. I actually remember Tyler being born. I guess that's telling my age, but his dad, Sam Smith, was our Civil Defense Director for many, many years, and Tyler followed in his footsteps. Tyler has reached a point in his career where that getting up every night in the middle of the night to go on calls has become difficult. He has a family and several kids, and so he's decided that he would like to step down into the Assistant Director position. And I'd like to promote Mr. Brandon Smith as the new EMA Director. When I came into office, one thing I made sure of is that we had a succession plan for all our departments. If anything happens to the department head, there's an Assistant Director ready to step up. And we planned it that way. They've been trained that way, and because I've saw too many occurrences where you've had something happen unexpectedly, and especially in these fields, in the emergency services field, and anything can happen, that there wouldn't somebody step up, and it put a hardship on the county. So we made sure we've got that. So what I'd like to do is have you ratify the appointment of Brandon Smith as the new Emergency Management Director, and Tyler will be moving to the Assistant Director.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Andrews?
I was just gonna say it'd be my honor to nominate, or to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Andrews. Any other discussion? Commissioner Phipps?
I know Brandon since he was a kid, worked in the director, started out. I couldn't think of anybody better than him. Absolutely.
Thank you, Commissioner Phipps. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Smith. We're proud of you, appreciate what you do already, and you'll continue to do a great job for Tyler, so congratulations. All right, item number 2, recognize the appointment of Cody Maynard as Parks and Recreation Director.
Well, again, unfortunately, we've lost John Albertson. He took a new position as Parks and Recreation Director in a place in Texas, and today was his last day working for the county. And I have to say, like Tyler, John hadn't been there as long as Tyler, but I think he came in about 2015, and he's done an amazing job with Parks and Recreations to bring it to the level that it is compared to where it was when I came into office. And I hate to lose him too, and I'd love for him to be moving down to Assistant Director and staying with us, but he has bigger plans. John Ross is looking at this as a stepping stone, and looking at moving on up to a very, very large department at some point in time. So we're going to miss him, but we have Mr. Cody Maynard, who's Assistant Director at Parks and Recreations. I don't think Cody's any stranger to most of y'all. His mom, Rebecca, works in the trustees' office. She just retired. this year, I guess, or this past year, and, Cody does an outstanding job, and like I said, we've got a succession plan and ready for him to step up also.
Is Cody here tonight?
He is. All right, I need a motion and a second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion, second, any discussion? Well, I'll say something. I know Cody real well, he's a great guy, works hard, done a great job for us so far, and I know you're gonna continue to do great, so. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes, congratulations, Mr. Maynard. Two great guys, Mr. Smith, Mr. Maynard, we're lucky to have you all, so thank you for your service to the county. All right, number 10, announcements and statements, here from Veteran Service Officer, Mr. Mark Harris.
Thank you. I just wanted to take a minute of your time. I've been your service officer for 8 years, and rarely do I get to come before you, except for on occasion when I need some support. Like in 2015, when we needed an additional position for a Veterans Benefit Officer, you supported me. And then last year, when we needed an administrative assistant, you supported that. And I know this is a time when you're trying to look at the budget and see what's going on and where you can support it. And then also last year, when I came before you, because there was a new facility that we were looking at moving into to provide a service. And I wanted to share with you that everybody that's been in that new building is deeply appreciative of that facility. It offers them a better place to come into. It gives them the privacy that they need. And they have, with the administration, they have somebody there to assist them as they walk through that door. So I wanted to come and share this information with you because I think sometimes we get lost in that information, and you're not aware of that. So I wanted to take that opportunity to share that with you. And as our county continues to grow, with people moving into our county, we also have more veterans moving into this county. In 2015, the first year that when I became the Veteran Service Officer, our county was bringing in $23 million. And then last year, we brought in $72 million. That's just our county alone. So you've supported me in the past when I've been before you, and I hope I don't need to come before you again and ask for anything in the future. I'm glad that I'm rarely in front of you. But I just wanted to share that what you do is very important in how it's affecting our county. Most of all, how it's affecting our veterans. The CBOC, the community-based outpatient care clinic here on Willow, you may have noticed they recently went through a modification. They've expanded their services. That's because of the demand of veterans that they have. And you may be aware, and I'm sure you are, that under the PACT Act, which was August of last year, it's about veterans benefits, but what's little known is that there was funding for 10 new structures in the VA, 3 of them in the state of Tennessee, 1 of them right here. So now we have a new VA facility that's going to be brought in to provide services, medical services for our veterans. That's more of a demand that's placed on us. So I just wanted to take a moment to say, just not for myself, thank you, but from our veterans, thank you, because they're the ones that reap the rewards for what you've just made those decisions in the past when I've been before you. And I want you to keep that in mind, that you have a service officer that's appreciative of what you've done for us and what you will do for us in the future. So thank you so much, and I'd like to give you a salute. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Appreciate what you do for us and all the veterans. Mayor?
One point to add to that, I know some of you've asked why we haven't had an open house for the new building. There was a lot for Mr. Jones to move out of the Veterans Museum. He's getting that all set up. As soon as we get all that set up, we'll be having an open house for y'all to be able to come down and see the new building.
Thanks, sir. Any more announcements and statements?
Remember, July County Commission meeting, there's 5 Mondays in the month of July, so you won't meet until the very last Monday, July 31st.
Yep. July 31st will be the commission meeting, the plan to approve a budget. Also, we have budget committee. I'll give you about 10 minutes for everybody to take a break and settle down before we start budget committee. Oh, Commissioner Andrews?
This has nothing to do with the budget really, but we're about to spend a bunch of money, and I wish we'd seriously look into getting a decent sound system for this room. It sucks.
All right, Commissioner Andrews, appreciate your honesty. Can you hear me okay?
I can now.
When you do that,
Hmm.
we have trouble, people that have trouble hearing, we can't hear unless you get right here and talk like this.
That's the point. You have to get mic trained like you almost, so you have to get up there and get in
I
the
feel
mic.
like I'm kissing the mic already, so I'll get a little closer. Commissioner Jacinto?
Ben, whether it comes from you or Randy, for those of us, this is our first year on the commission. We've got a budget. It's been handed to us, come through committee. I appreciate all the hard work that you guys spent. Can you give us the, kind of the rules and outlines as we, might want to discuss this, budget and as we make a decision for what we want to do, vote, as far as talking to other commissioner, can you just give us an idea how that's supposed to work to make sure that, we stay within the rules and guidelines?
So, everybody hear me okay? I do not encourage you deliberating with any commissioner on the budget privately. We have a budget committee meeting tonight. I'm thinking we're gonna, and we'll talk more, but we may meet Thursday night, depending on how it goes tonight, just so the mayor's office can make sure all the numbers are correct. You are welcome to ask questions. There's nothing against asking questions to me or Mayor Porter or any other budget committee members. I would encourage you to ask questions. Please do not deliberate towards a decision. For example, well, I think we need to do this and this and this, and, it's a fine line, so I just don't want you to be caught out in public, having that conversation. But yeah, you can ask questions, feel free to ask questions. The process will be, we'll meet, the budget committee has made one recommendation, and we'll have to approve other things, as a formality tonight. And then we'll meet the last Monday of July. It will not come before fiscal review, so it's a special committee. So everything recommended out of budget committee will go straight from, as a special committee, straight to the commission, and we'll vote. And so you'll get the budget, depending on when we make our final recommendations, which will be this week, middle of July, you'll get a copy. You're required to have it, at least 10 days before we vote. And so you'll get middle of July. I'll give you some time to look at it, ask some questions, but you'll have it in time for your review.
Can you answer another half of that question?
Sure.
Because I was pretty clear on that, and I think I know the answer. The other one to be sure. Fielding questions from constituents as they read things in the paper and, different things. Can you give us a little guidance on how you would handle that?
So my plan, after Mayor Porter and Chelsea review it, is once the budget committee has made a recommendation and we're finished, is to send the commissioners an email just updating you on the recommendations. What does that mean? So I hope to have you kind of a script that you have knowledge of, where you can just say, well, this is what that means, this is what we're doing. But questions, feel free to answer them, or just say, if you don't know, just say, let me call somebody and I'll call you back. But I plan on sending everybody an email with an update of the business that's transacted at the budget committee level.
Thank you for the formal
Oh,
guidance.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Any questions y'all have, just let us know. Mayor?
Answer Commissioner Andrews' thing.
Oh.
So on the sound system, you put in capital projects this current year for us to redo the video and the sound. We had to do it in stages. They did the video first with the iPads. We have the sound system on order. As soon as it comes in, they'll be installing that.
Well, the reason I said that, it comes and goes, and it's just a problem, and I'm sure a lot of people out here can't understand it either. I mean, we just need an upgrade.
You're like 2 for 2. Last time you asked for iPads, you got them the next month. And then you asked for a sound system, and you're getting that pretty soon. So keep asking for stuff, Commissioner Andrews. You're batting 1,000. Any more announcements and statements? Only thing I have left is Rules Committee. Rules Committee, we will meet sometime in July to discuss the new public chapter that the General Assembly passed on public comment. So commission meeting will look a little bit different in July. The agenda and how that looks and how we proceed with business. So Rules Committee will meet first, make a recommendation to full commission, and then we'll entertain the motion there. So be looking for an email from Mayor Porter's office about when we're going to meet. Okay? Anything else? Motion to adjourn? Motion. We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.